Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Geoguessr. We're doing the World League Pro League of 2020, leg 15 of 48. Now, we have been getting the AI-made world map literally every other time. I think it's safe to assume that we're going to get the AI-made world map this time around as well. Now, that does make sense, as it does make up half of all the current legs, although it would be nice to see something a little different. We did get a guessable world. I believe that is the first one, so there's only one more guessable world in there. I don't think we've had a diverse world yet, but there would be another diverse world in there as well. So there's two diverse world, one guessable. Looks like we've had improved world twice, so there's four more. Improved world. I don't even want to count balanced world, but our chances are pretty high that we are going to get the AI made world map. Now, this is 4 minutes per round. We are allowed to move, we are allowed to zoom, we are allowed to pan. Hopefully we're able to get a good score, although I think you guys might have higher expectations for me than I do, but we are going to do our best to get the highest score we possibly can. Now, I don't need to give you guys the typical warning because this video will go up after this round is over. So you are seeing the previous round, not the one that is currently active. They don't have to worry about anyone using this video to get a better score for themselves. Let's start off. It is the AI made world map. I believe we're using Mr. American Mike as his map. I don't believe it's Roland's. I believe it's Mr. American Mike's. We did have orange dirt. I do think we're going to end up in South America, perhaps Brazil. I feel like that might be one of the better options. Now, we did recently do a phone number tutorial. You will actually be able to find that on the Geoguessr Pro Community YouTube channel. And if we are in Brazil, we might be able to use phone numbers if we're able to find them to our advantage. And now, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, a few Geoguessr YouTubers and streamers came together to make the Geoguessr Pro Community YouTube page and Twitch channel as well as Twitter. You will actually be able to find information of that particular Discord down in the description below. But we currently have two videos. I am actually working on the third one. The first one, we did a city meetup challenge where we all started in the same city and we all had to meet up at a specific point. That was actually really cool. We did, I believe, Sherbrooke in Canada. And then the second video was the Brazil phone numbers. Now, I don't want to judge people based on looks, but those people did not feel very Brazilian. However, the orange dirt does lead us, I think, towards South America. We do have the sun to the north, so we are in the southern hemisphere. The only other real option might be the Philippines. But we actually have Portuguese right here. We do have the back of the car. It is white, which I think does lead us into Brazil. But we really got nothing else. Which really is a shame. I feel like we just got unlucky, right? Because we typically do find a lot of information in a lot of these rural areas. And we're not even finding signs that are legible. We can't even determine for a fact if it's Portuguese or Spanish. If it does end up being Spanish, and like we're confident it ends up being Spanish, we might want to move it to Uruguay or Bolivia. I don't think it's Argentina, I don't think it's Chile, and I don't think it's Peru. Although they're not bad options either. But again, another sign that we had to blow past because we just didn't see anything clear enough. And maybe if we try to get a different picture, it would have loaded better? I'm not too sure. We're kind of at that panicky stage now where we want something and we want something good. And maybe we're just ignoring all the bad to get the good. Like a phone number would be great right now. I think the phone number is the key to Brazil, and we can't find it anywhere. We just can't. I feel like, though, it's going to be the state of Para or the Amapu. I don't know how to do the A with the umlaut. I'm just going to say Amapa. I feel like it's northern Brazil. I don't have any particular reason why that's the case. It feels like it's the best place for it. I feel like we've had locations similar, and I feel like those have mostly been on stream. And I believe you guys have told me, because you guys are better than I am, that it would be northern Brazil, and this has the same kind of feel to it. So I could see that being a thing. We do know the sun's to our north, which does put us in the southern hemisphere. It's just, how far down are we? And I feel like the AI made world maps can give us a lot more rural locations. But we are at a time. 4 minutes. Found nothing. It ends up being Colombia. Well, we're the devil, apparently. Really? Really? I don't think we saw a car. If we would have seen a car with yellow license plates, we would have definitely gone with Colombia. I feel like we went west and not east. Dude, there was nothing fucking there. There was nothing there. Well, we lost. Riverview. I feel like this could be the Colorado River, which would put us in the Grand Canyon. And I say that because of this in the distance. In fact, I think I'm actually confident this is going to be the Colorado River. It's just where in... God damn it. Alright. Where in the Grand Canyon are we? Maybe over here more? Now that is to our west. So to our west would be this way. Which, maybe we go a little bit further south. But I'm pretty confident this is going to end up being the Colorado River. Now, I don't actually know for a fact if the Colorado River has official coverage. But it feels too much like the Grand Canyon to not guess it. And I do know that people do go through here, whitewater rafting and kayaking. So it's not unheard of for people to be on this river. So maybe this is a thing? Although it's tough to tell, it feels like we are in a boat or a pretty big raft. Why? This is partly why I don't like boat views. Right? Because it doesn't matter how far we travel or anything along those lines. We're not going to find a sign that points us in the right direction. So at this point, we have to use the geology and the geography of the area. So the geology is the Red Mesa Plateau-esque feel to it, right? And then the geography is the shape of the river. So I don't know if we're down here. It does feel like we're kind of moving towards a bend, right? But it's tough to tell the shape of the bend. It kind of feels rather west to east, so we should actually move it to over here a little bit more. This sucks. It really does. If we can find an island in the middle of the water, kind of like what we saw over here, that might be able to help us pick out a location. But I'm also not too confident about that. My only other concern is the thickness of the river. Now, I've never been... Yeah, this is a raft. We're whitewater rafting. I've never been down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I've only been at the top of it. So I didn't really get a good feel for how big the river itself was. And maybe that might be part of my mistake. But we're definitely whitewater rafting. It looks like we have another boat up here, another raft. I don't know where else it could be. I really don't. Some place that has official coverage that looks like this. It's got to be the Colorado River. So at this point, do we hope we have a good spot? Because we're clearly not finding anything. Maybe we're just a corner away from a dock, and then that could help us bring us closer to maybe, I don't know, a big touristy spot. What other canyon could it be? I know it's got to be the Colorado River. I mean, do I though? I have a good feel for it. I think I have a good feel for it. We already lost, mainly because of that first location. Not guessing Colombia. And it looks like maybe we are docking. However, there's obviously no signs here, but this is where a bunch of people are. So could that put us more towards here? I feel like it's more towards here. I feel like we have a good spot. And actually, where we just pointed out is actually where it is. So we do end up in the Colorado River. We just end up being 11 miles off, which isn't that bad. So I'm glad I was able to determine generally where we were. However, Radu C almost gets a perfect score there. I don't know. It didn't feel this curvy. Am I just wrong? Probably, but it feels like that was here where we just ended up, or maybe a little bit closer. Tough to tell. Definitely tough to tell. Low car, black back. We're in Japan. On an island in Japan. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Well, we can't just sit around and do nothing, I suppose. I don't know how we're going to figure out where in Japan we are. Phone numbers that we haven't really started paying attention to. We started a little bit. We know a good idea about phone numbers, which is actually the next tutorial. So the next tutorial I'm working on are country area codes in Japan. If only we did that tutorial first. Because that might actually help us tremendously here. Now, we do have a little bit of a basic understanding of how Japanese telephone numbers work. However, if this does end up being one of those islands off the coast of something, we're not going to be able to do it, because I'm not too familiar with islands yet. I do know generally the mainland, so the 3s are going to be near Tokyo. The 4s are going to be near Nagoya. And then we kind of have the 1s, and then the 2s, and then 8s and 9s, and 7s and 6s, and they're all over. But I generally know the style of how the phone numbers go. So if we are able to find one, we should be able to use it. Unless it's an island. Because again, I'm not too familiar with how the islands are numbered. Because they're islands and they don't actually exist. So why would I care about islands? However, we do find what appears to be a major road. We do have hexagonal 45, which is not what we wanted. Hexagonal 45 does eventually, well, it's going to be repeated in every country, so if we could find a guitar pick 45, I feel like that would be better. Can we get anything though? But water is to our south and to our west. South and to our west here. Maybe we're down here a little bit more. I don't know, I feel like it's got to be an island, but I don't know what island to guess at this point. We're definitely on the left-hand side. That's a 2-7. However, I don't know if that's actually considered an area code. But the 2s would put us more towards the north of Japan. And that doesn't really fit with the water. We have falling rocks. That's exactly what I want to see when I'm driving on a skinny road in Japan next to the water. Imagine you're just driving peacefully along this road, enjoying the scenic views, and a boulder just pushes your car into the water. Is it giving you anxiety yet? That would be one way to fucking go. The infrastructure itself feels like it's got to be a small area, right? Because the road doesn't even stay as one lane. It keeps switching between one each way and then a solo lane. So I feel like that leads us more towards it being an island. However, that might have actually been a phone number. Not really. I'm expecting kind of like Brazil, where we have the parentheses around it. And I don't know if that's exactly what we need to look for, to be honest. It might be. Don't get me wrong, it might be. I feel like we struggle to find phone numbers in Japan, to be honest. I really do. I don't think we've ever really seen country area codes in here. God damn it. Alright, there's the Yo25. That should put us over here. We'll just do it. It's probably not over here. But there's Guitar Pick 45. And it does end up being an island. Is anyone really surprised? Sado Island? That it ends up being an island? Radu C does get the correct island, however, gets the wrong point on the island. Dude, there was nothing fucking here. Which might make sense for why there was no phone number here. It's over by Nagata. Not bad, 700 points off, but 700 points is still 700 points. And we want to do better. We do have a black car. We do have the sun to our north, I think. So that should put us in Argentina or Brazil. Actually, Uruguay. This is probably going to be Uruguay. We have... Bro, not Uruguay. Not Uruguay. I believe it's out here. Is this Novosibirsk? It is not. No, it is. That doesn't actually tell us how far away this is. However, we do also have ZAMZOR. I don't know where that is. But it should be near here. Theoretically. But then we should be south. Maybe on this road? We should be on this road. And then it splits. Perfect. I don't think we're near Bisk. Bisk is probably not our best play. I think being closer to Novosibirsk is the play, though. So, can we find a distance to it? Doesn't really look like it. I don't know, man. This didn't feel like Russia when I first came into it. I think we relied too much on the color of the car at this point. So, Novosibirsk is 1,301 kilometers away. To our north. 1,300 kilometers. That's like 800 miles. Ish. So we should be over here more. I'm thinking. Because if we can find 3 AM, 3 OP, we're 2 kilometers off from that. And that would be a really good Russia guess. Right? Like, incredible Russia guess. I would ask for Maff God to be in the chat. However, we don't have that emote, so I would have to then load up the Twitch program and spam it. The issue is, I don't think we're going to be able to find it. We know we're near here. That's what matters. We know we're near here. What if we go this way? What if we go this way? Here's Zima. Here's Zalari. There's a lot of Z's over here, so maybe we're over in this general area. Zamzor. We found it. We fucking found it. This is 2 kilometers to our east. I feel like we gotta be on yellow, though. But we're 2 kilometers from here. We're gonna have a really good fucking Russia guess here. I don't know anything else, though. It doesn't tell us a road or anything. What does this one say? And we have that 584, which should be down here a little bit more. But we don't have a road number. We don't have a road number, a route number, nothing like that. Nothing, maybe this. If we can go down this road. Can we not go down this road? We can't go down this road. The one sign we need to triangulate our position doesn't fucking exist. So let's keep going. One of these signs might have the road number we're on. But we're within 2 kilometers of where we have our guess. Which I think is pretty fucking cool. It's Russia. And we recognized and were able to translate certain road numbers. I feel like that's a kilometer marking. I wish it said P255, to be honest. But beggars can't be choosers at this point. I'm okay with being 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers off. I feel like we just went into town here. And this is like cutting through. So that intersection should have been where we have it. We might be back here a little bit more. I feel like we're right here. Maybe a little bit closer. Come on, baby. And we almost get a perfect score. We end up being a kilometer off. It does end up being further south. Dude, how the fuck did we pull that off? That's Russia. That doesn't happen. That really doesn't happen. We're 4 points off a perfect score in Russia. I think that's pretty cool. Now, granted, we did screw up the Colombia guess, so that's not going to be too helpful for us. But we are on the last round. And this feels like the United States. We do have the yellow divided line. We are on the right-hand side of the road. We do have the sun to our south. Where in the United States are we? I'm not too great when it comes to state signs. I do sometimes recognize town names. I'm a little bit better when it comes to license plates. However, that's a white license plate. That's a Pennsylvania license plate. Blue, white, yellow. Unless that's the holder of it, which it very well could be. It doesn't feel like Pennsylvania either, so I feel like that's not something we could use. You know what? Maybe it does feel like Pennsylvania. Maybe it does. Don't ask me what Canadian signs are, because I don't know what that is, but there's miles per hour, which pretty much puts us in the United States. I can probably get away with maybe... I could get away with the Pennsylvania, this state thing on Pennsylvania. I could definitely do that. But I just doesn't feel like Pennsylvania. What color license plate was that? That's a New York license plate. That was a New York front license plate. Maybe this guy's out of town? Maybe this is upstate New York. New York, trust me. I know I'm from New York, but let me tell you this. Where I'm from and where this is look nothing alike. I'm from a lot more populated of an area, a lot flatter, and a lot closer to a beach. But I will recognize a New York sign if I see one on the side. I'll also recognize the New York flag. So that's maybe the good news, maybe the bad news. It kind of feels Pennsylvania, Ohio, though, man. We do find a major road intersection. We are going into a town. That's New York, for sure. What county does it say? Jefferson? Which should be north. Should be up here a little bit. I don't actually know where Jefferson County is, but that is definitely in New York style. Can we find a town name at this point? Lorraine? I've never heard of Lorraine. I've never heard of Lorraine, New York. So don't be surprised if we're wrong here. Here's the line. God, man. Lowville. Lyons Falls. I wouldn't be surprised if we're actually out here. Lindenville. God, man. Of course we find it in Russia. Right? Of course we find the town name in Russia, but when it comes to New York, nope. Here's Jefferson, but I don't think that means we're in Jefferson County. But it's gotta be upstate New York. At this point. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I'm pretty sure quite a few states use that county marker. That's a state sign. That wasn't telling us the state highway, though. Like, the state highway for Pennsylvania is shaped like a vase. Maybe, man. I wish we knew where Lorraine was. I wish we knew where every town in New York was. I really do. But I just don't. I know more about the island than I do about upstate. But we are getting more New York license plates, which is confirming New York. However, no front license plates. These are old New York. It all makes sense. It's just... where? Where's Lorraine? North. North for sure. And it does end up being a lot further north, over near Lake Ontario. Here's Lorraine. We would have never found it. This is in the Grant Powell Memorial State Forest. It looks like Radussi does get a good score on it. God. We would have never found it. But we did guess. A decent guess. At least we get the state right. But we're not walking away victorious. We are walking away with almost 20,000 points. I love how the country streak is still here. Ignore that. That's from stream. But let's check out the high score. First place is Radussi at 24-4. Simi's in third. Taurus is in sixth. Wolf Trekker's in 12th. We're in 19th. Fighting Quaker's in 22nd. We're in 19th. What? Did we really do that good? Granted, this was our biggest fuck up, was Brazil to Colombia. Everyone did really well. Yeah, everyone did pretty good. With that being our biggest fuck up, but doing really good in Russia, I'm pretty happy about that. But that is going to be where we call it for the day, so thank you all so much for joining me. I do hope you all enjoyed. There are a few pro leagues that are out and about on the Reddit. If you do want me to link those for you guys to play, by all means let me know in the comments section. But until tomorrow, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and bye-bye.